Match number 8, our main event of the evening. And not gonna lie, the reason that I made the effort to travel to this was the only match that I knew was on the card, as the Hustle Wrestling Championship was put on the line as Mark Haskins took on the champion Rayne Leverkusen. Now, getting the opportunity to see Mark Haskins, just yeah, as I say, it's the reason I made the journey. Not gonna lie, I've seen Rayne Leverkusen before. Anyway, early even exchange. Mark Haskins would try a sneaky kick, but it was definitely even matched till the test of strength, which Mark Haskins would win. And at this point, he tried to keep Leverkusen down with multiple twos. The fans would urge Leverkusen on until Haskins starts to pull the hair, resorting to the dirty tactics. Leverkusen would go after the knees and try to work Haskins over. Here a barrage of chops. But Haskins would respond with a springboard lariat and then just perform one of them nasty kicks off the apron. Oh, he would then, with the action outside, he'd sit Leverkusen onto a chair and just chop her. Oh, that was a nasty, nasty chop. Then hit a pump kick. He'd go for a second attempt, but Leverkusen would have absolutely counter it. Haskins was definitely resorting to a lot of dirty tactics in this one. Great to see. He'd hit a monkey flip and a springboard crossbody for a 2 count. At this point, Leverkusen would start to hit some nasty chops of her own before Haskins would lock in an elbow submission, and Leverkusen would try with all her might to fight out of it. As the fans urged her on, Haskins would start to trash talk her, which would only fire her up. She'd hit a kick and a DDT. She'd head up top for a missile drop kick, and hit it, but Mark Haskins would start to unload. Leverkusen hit the spine buster for a 2 count. Haskins would head up top. He'd miss his stomp. Leverkusen would go for a cutter, but Haskins would counter it into an armbar. Just honestly, this was so back and forth. The fans were just on the edge of their seats. It was ridiculous. Leverkusen would counter a cutter at one point, hit a huge kick for another 2 count. Haskins would hit the Shining Wizard. I thought it was over at this point, but Leverkusen would hit a really impactful, huge running knee to the face to retain her title. Oh my God, folks! As I say, this was just a banger of a match. What a great way to finish it. I'm so glad that I made the journey just purely based on this match alone. It was the only one I knew was on the card, and it was more than worth the entrance price. This one was just fantastic, folks. This had it all. It had the drama. They weren't 2 counts. They weren't 2 and a halves. They weren't even 2 3/4. They were 2 99 hundredths. Literally the refs was. I mean, how he prevented himself on a few of them from hitting the 3 count, I do not know. It was that close a match. Such high intensity. Haskins, oh my God, seeing him live, it's incredible. It's got to be done. He's just one of them. I've ticked him off my bucket list, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the only time I get to see him. Just a fantastic, phenomenal wrestler. He brings the intensity. He draws you in. His heel work is just absolutely insane. His wrestling is just on another level. It's just glorious. Leverkusen, I'd seen her in action before. It'd been a few years. I'm grateful I got to see her again. She's definitely just as good as I remember her. She just absolutely brought it to the ring. She gave her all, and she backed it up with a very tough opponent. She never gave up. She gave as good as she got. She proved why she's the champion, and she defended her belt with honor. It was just absolutely fantastic. Great victory for her. Great opponent to fell. Just honestly, there's just not enough to say about this match. It was just absolutely insanely incredible. If you ever get a chance to see either of these two in action, you must do so for yourselves.